Why does your total debt look the same, even when you keep paying? Why do you feel busy, but never lighter? Why does minimum due feel like a finish line? Today I'm going to show you how to run the debt snowball so your payments start disappearing. Okay, here's the thing. You are not managing debt. You are managing due dates. Your first win is deleting one monthly payment, then using that freed cash to crush the next debt. Once one payment disappears, your money stops getting chopped into tiny pieces and starts hitting one target hard enough to end it. That momentum is what breaks the treadmill. There is one mistake people make in week one that resets the whole thing, and it's hiding inside your autopay settings. This part makes me mad. In the real world, credit cards are charging rates that are not a little high. They're the kind of high that keeps you making payments for a long time. One Fed data series shows the commercial bank interest rate on credit card plans at 21.39% in August 2025. If it feels like you're working and not moving, that's real. And due dates mess with your head every month. It makes "I paid something" feel like a win, even when the balance barely moves. Not because you're lazy, because the treadmill rewards you with relief, not results. Let's say it, the minimum payment treadmill. Minimums don't mean you're almost done. Minimums mean you stayed in good standing. Minimums buy, not late. That's it. And not late is valuable, because late fees, penalty rates, collections, yeah, it's not nothing, but not late also keeps the balance alive. It keeps the interest running. It keeps your attention split across 5 different due dates like you're running a little debt daycare. And once your brain accepts that game, you start measuring progress by how many check marks you got this month, not how much of your life you got back. You pay a minimum, you get a confirmation screen, your shoulders drop for 10 seconds. Then a week later, you see the balance again and it feels rude. That's the treadmill. Busy, managed, still stuck. Your card company loves when you think of this as one big number, because one big number feels unbeatable. So you keep doing the smallest thing that avoids pain. Okay, here's how you take control. Quick thing before I tell you about this method. I'm not a financial advisor, and this isn't personal financial advice. This is education and entertainment based on research and real-life patterns. Delete a payment, roll it forward. Debt snowball rules are simple. You list your debts from smallest balance to largest balance. You pay the minimums on all of them, on time, every month. Then you pick the smallest one, and you attack it like it's the only thing that matters in your life. When that smallest debt is gone, you take the payment you were sending to it, and you add that exact amount to the minimum on the next debt. That's it. The payment grows because you keep stacking freed payments onto the next target. When your money gets sliced into tiny portions, this is how you make your money hit hard enough to actually end something. Before the comment section starts sharpening pencils, hold your horses. Yes, there is another method that can cost less interest on paper. You've heard it. Highest rate first. That is often the cleanest math. But if your real life was clean math, you wouldn't be living in the due date circus. You'd be living in a spreadsheet with perfect self-control and zero surprises. Real life is messy. Real life is not a perfect game. Real life is, why does this bill hate me? Be honest, how many times have you paid extra for a few weeks, then quit before you ever got that first win? Solution is the snowball. It's designed to get you one debt off your back fast. Then you aim everything at the next. So the snowball chooses a different win condition, not perfect efficiency. The win condition is, this bill is gone. You can see it, you can feel it, you can't unsee it. And that changes how you show up next month. Why the snowball feels unfair, and why that's the point. The best plan is not the one that looks smartest. It's the one you actually finish. Kellogg researchers have written about this. In their research, paying off smaller balances first can make people more likely to eliminate debt overall, because progress feels real and keeps you moving. And that makes sense if you think about what your month feels like. When you wipe out one small debt, you don't just reduce a balance. You delete a whole line from your life. One less reminder, one less email that says your payment is coming up, like it's a friendly heads up and not a threat. But there's a catch. The snowball is not selling perfect math. It's selling momentum by making a payment disappear, which creates visible progress and cash flow. And that cash flow part matters more than people admit, because when your money is split into tiny pieces, it never lands a finishing punch. You're doing 10 little jabs forever. The snowball turns your extra money into one punch that ends a fight. And once you end a fight, you get to use that exact punch on the next one. That's why your first payoff feels like air coming back into the room. Your life stops being 4 minimums plus a prayer. It becomes 3 minimums and one target that's in danger. That's momentum. That's how you break the minimum payment treadmill. Now we build the snowball payment so it cannot accidentally shrink. This is where the plan fails. They say, I'll throw extra at it when I can, and then when I can, never shows up. So you're going to do the opposite. You're going to choose an attack amount that you can repeat every month, not every perfect month when stars align, every normal month. If you have to, start smaller than your ego wants. Your ego does not make the payments. Your calendar does. Here's the setup. Put every debt on autopay for the minimum. Only the minimum. This is about never missing, even when life goes sideways. Separately, schedule your attack amount. Same date every month. Same dollar amount every month. This is the part that makes it work. Point that attack amount at the smallest balance. You're not deciding 12 times a month. You're running a plan. And there's a legal reason your statement pushes minimums so hard. Minimum payments are often calculated in a way that keeps the required number low. One research paper summarizes common formulas as the maximum of a floor amount and a small percent of the balance, plus interest and fees. In plain English, the required payment is designed to be survivable. Survivable is not the same as freeing. Survivable means you can keep carrying it. Your attack amount is your choice to stop survivable and start gone. All right, you're going to feel weird when you do this, because the minimum payment treadmill trained you to treat the statement as authority, like the statement is telling you what's possible. No, the statement is telling you the smallest number that keeps the account alive. You're allowed to do bigger. You're allowed to do focused. You're allowed to stop negotiating with a due date. And when debt number 1 dies, you do not celebrate by lowering effort. You celebrate by aiming the freed payment at the next one. Same total outflow. Bigger punch. Here's what messes people up and how to stop it. This is the quiet way your snowball gets weaker while you swear you're doing it right. As your balances drop, the required minimum payment often drops. You'll get a cheerful message like, your minimum payment has been updated. And you'll think, nice, I'm making progress. But there's a catch. If you follow shrinking minimums, your snowball quietly loses power. You must lock in a fixed total payment that never slides backward. Here's the fix, and it's simple. Your total monthly debt payment stays the same or rises. It never drifts down. So when your minimum goes down by $20, your attack amount goes up by $20. You do not take the win by keeping that money. You take the win by speeding up the next payoff. Now, let's come back to the autopay thing from the beginning. The week 1 mistake is this. People set autopay to minimum due, and then they stop paying attention, thinking they automated progress. But minimum due is not a payoff plan. It's a stay current plan. You need 2 payments in your life, the minimums and the attack payment. If you only have one, you're back on the treadmill. And yes, your card issuer is required to show repayment disclosures on statements, including how much you'd pay over time with minimum payments and an estimate for paying the balance in 36 months. Those boxes exist for a reason. They're basically a polite way of saying, hey, the minimum is a trap door, not because the company is evil, because the minimum is built for keeping the account alive. So you build a plan that doesn't shrink. Make it a rule. Total debt payment fixed. Target moves only when a debt dies. That's how your snowball stops melting. Guardrails. Keep the snowball from stalling. 2 things stall this plan more than anything. First, new charges. If you keep adding debt while you're trying to remove debt, you're doing a tug of war with yourself. So you need friction, not motivation. Friction. Remove the card from the places where spending happens fast. Take it out of the shopping apps. Remove it from the browser autofill. Put it somewhere annoying to reach. You're not being dramatic. You're setting your future self up to not have a weak moment at 11:47 p.m. and wake up with a delivery confirmation. Second, surprise expenses. If every random expense forces you to reduce your attack payment, your plan will feel like it's constantly restarting. So you add a tiny buffer, not a huge one, a small one. Enough so a normal surprise does not immediately turn into, welp, debt plan is canceled. And before you roll your eyes at tiny buffer, remember what you're trying to build. You're trying to keep your total debt payment steady. That's the whole engine. So the buffer is there to protect the engine from one pothole. Check this stat for a second. The New York Fed reported credit card balances at $1.23 trillion outstanding in Q3 2025. That number is not here because you need to compare yourself to a giant national number. It's here because it proves this is common. And common problems need plans that work in common life, not perfect life. Also, the CFPB has noted that about 2/3 of actively used credit card accounts carry a revolving balance. So, if you've been thinking, why am I the only one still dealing with this? You're not. A lot of people are revolving balances for months at a time. The CFPB also noted that once people start revolving on an account, they tend to keep revolving for a while, averaging about 10 months, with a chunk going much longer. That's the treadmill. So we use guardrails, no new charges, protect the attack payment, and give yourself a visual tracker that shows debts dying, not just balances changing. A list on paper works. A sticky note wall works, because you need proof. Okay, here's the one rule that matters. Make one payment vanish. Then shove that exact money into the next debt. That's the plan. And it's boring. And it works. There are exceptions that matter, and ignoring them can blow up your whole plan. Here's the simplest exception check. If a debt has a deadline that will get expensive fast, or consequences that are not just interest, it may outrank size. Examples include anything tied to a car that you need to get to work, anything with legal pressure, court stuff, wage risk, the kind of thing that can escalate beyond annoying. You can still keep momentum, but you step around landmines. So you might pay off a slightly larger balance first if it prevents a serious hit. Then you go back to smallest first. But there's a catch. Deadlines, collateral, and legal risk can change the order, and you need a simple exception check. So momentum does not become a mistake. Post-win plan. This is where people rebound. A payment disappears. You feel rich for about 9 minutes. Then that freed cash starts drifting into food delivery, upgrades, little treats. We deserve it. And suddenly the debt is gone, but the money still feels gone too. So you must pre-assign the freed payment immediately. The day a debt dies, you decide where that payment goes next, before your month absorbs it. If you still have debt, it goes to the next debt. If you're done with consumer debt, it goes to whatever keeps you from crawling back. A buffer that can handle normal surprises. A retirement contribution. A savings goal that's tied to something real. The point is, you do not let freed cash become invisible cash, because invisible cash is how you end up back on the minimum payment treadmill with a different set of balances. One more thing. Because people worry about credit scores and they start making weird decisions. Utilization matters. FICO has said that revolving utilization is part of the amounts owed category, which can affect scores, and revolving utilization is a key piece of it. And credit scoring models can look at both overall utilization and high utilization on individual cards. So if your score wiggles while you're paying things down or closing accounts, don't panic and abandon the plan. You're not here to impress anyone. You're here to be free. Stay focused on deleting payments, then rolling them forward. Erase one monthly bill, then roll that exact amount onto the next debt. That's the snowball in plain English. And it beats the due date circus because it changes what you can see. Not, I paid something, I finished something. For context, the New York Fed's Q3 2025 report put total household debt at $18.59 trillion, with delinquency rates stabilizing but still elevated. So, if the air feels tighter right now, you're not imagining it. And the CFPB has reported that credit card companies charged consumers record high interest and fees in 2022, totaling more than $130 billion. That's why just pay the minimum is not neutral advice. It's a long contract. So run the snowball. Minimums on Autopay, a fixed attack amount. Total payment never shrinks. Take down the smallest, roll the payment forward. And if there's a deadline debt that can blow up, step around it, then get right back to deleting payments. If this video helped you, like the video and subscribe so you don't miss the next one.